What is up, everybody? Today is November 6th. We now have a new president for next year, Donald Trump, and it looks like the market seemed to have liked that result, so we take it how it is. Today I took two trades. I took one loss and one win, which put me green on the day overall. I decided not to take the entire move. I was expecting this move to go on higher, but I just didn't have the time today or the emotional capacity, to be completely honest, to hold that long. Now, let's get into why I was bullish on the second trade and why I was a little bearish at first. So starting out on the 4-hour time frame, we know that price was moving on higher. I liked the fact that we had closed above this level here, and I mentioned that, I believe I mentioned it in my video. If not, it was on TikTok Live, that because we had that 4-hour close above this level, I was expecting price to hit this previous week high today. Now, I did not expect to go this high, but regardless, I'm still thinking we're going to reach higher. And of course, new all-time highs are coming in soon, especially because, like I said before, we had that weekly close above that level. We would have all-time highs soon. And since we ended up having that close, we just consolidated in this area a bit, and now we're just starting to break out of it. So overall, I did have a bullish sentiment, and I just wanted to see price ideally retrace down into some kind of a fair value gap. We did have a 4-hour one right there, which we nicely traded into and traded out of. And so that was what I was looking for. The last kind of thing that I was looking for was a 10 a.m. close above that level to target previous week high, especially on the 1-hour time frame as well. We had a 1-hour fair value gap right there. And as you can see, once we got that 1-hour close above here at 4 in the morning, it was obvious that we were going to expect this previous week high, especially because we dipped down into this 1-hour fair value gap right there, held that very nicely, bounced off of the midnight open at 6 a.m. So overall, you could have been bullish here in the morning session, but this is why I ended up bearish. If we look at the market open itself, my target was that previous week high. The market consolidates a bit here, moves on up, hits that previous week high level. So that was ideally what I was targeting overall for the day. And then price starts to come down. I don't enter in off of this because I wanted to wait till after 10 o'clock. And ideally, I would get in on some kind of retracement to then go lower. Now, here is the thing that made me a little hesitant on this short, and quite frankly, I should have cut it sooner, was because, yes, we did have a strong reaction out of it, but we only swept these lows. There was no strong displacement through it. Although we did have I believe we had like a 15-minute or a 5-minute FEG in here. I was looking for that to get respected to continue going lower. And that was the whole basis behind entering this trade. We had this bullish for value gap, invalidated, market ordered in, put my stop above the high. I'm in profit a little bit, and then comes right back up and stops me out. So now I'm just thinking to myself, okay, what is price going to end up doing here? Price continues to move on higher, creates a new high of day, starts to come down again. Now here in this area, you see I marked out this 5-minute fair value gap. I did notice that 5-minute fair value gap got invalidated on the 5-minute time frame. But on the 15-minute, we still looked pretty bullish. We were still looking pretty bullish. Yes, we had some indecision candles here, but overall we had a swing high, a swing low, a swing high. And I was expecting now this to be a swing low. Now my target was actually this 1-hour liquidity level from way back here. That's the previous week high. Where is it? This one right here. From July 16th. We had a pretty prominent swing high right there that took out that level and started to move down lower. So this was one area of liquidity that price could target before hitting this bullish draw. So as you can see, that's exactly where we ended. Okay, so at any of these previous levels of liquidity or these previous swing highs are areas where price could trade up into and then stop, because that is the draw on liquidity. That's where price is trying to get to. So because the 15-minute time frame still looked really bullish to me, I honestly, after getting stopped out here, or actually mid-trade, I saw this 1-minute bearish fair value gap, and then I thought to myself, if this starts to push on through and at least closes above the 50% mark, I should take it off and go long. And I didn't want to do that because I don't usually trade like that anymore. I'm trying to be more conservative with my approach. You know, that was when I was riskier back in June. And so I just decided to let it hit my stop, see how price was going to act if you were going to displace above this, and then retrace back into some kind of imbalance that gets created. And if we do respect that imbalance and time aligns with it, then I will take it long in continuation up until this 916 level. That was my game plan after I got stopped out the first time. So I waited for that. We got this new high. We started to retrace back down. And as soon as price dropped into this 5-minute fair value gap, the reason why, even though it was invalidating it, I did not go short was because of the fact that this was during the manipulation cycle. All right, price moves on down over here, right? This could have been X, could have considered that X, but I didn't. Just because of how price was moving, it just seemed so obvious that price wanted to go higher. Now in Q2, I wanted to see price manipulate below that low. And as you can see, price comes down, has this low, manipulates lower into that 5-minute fair value gap, and then price just starts to just displace back on up. Now the reason why I entered where I did was there was a 1-minute bearish imbalance right there. Okay, once price displaced above that, I market ordered in at the next candle. It did start to come back down, and I held through that, fully accepting that we could have been stopped out. Totally fine, but I considered it a protected low because it was during the manipulation cycle, taking out that low. This seemed pretty obvious to me. Okay, and so once that swing low got hit, started to move back on up. It's respecting this inversion fair value gap. You see no bodies are closing below the 50% mark, then starts to move on higher. Now my original take profit was going to be a 1 to 2, so I was targeting around right there. Okay, price comes on up, and I didn't take profit on that. I didn't. I wanted to recoup way more than what I had lost here, and that's when I noticed that I was getting greedy. Okay, so I was like, you know what? I'm going to put my stop to break even, and I'm going to walk away from this, and I'm going to leave an order set right under it. So you can see I take partial right up here, which was slightly under a 1 point. Let me see, where was it before? It was a 1.86 risk to reward. So then I left it, walked away. This should have stopped me out because I did what I wasn't supposed to be doing. I entered in, I had a good fill, and I let it run to a 1 to 2, and I didn't take profit. So that was wrong of me to do. And by God's grace, I did not get stopped out, literally by a couple of ticks. So then price comes to run back up. I take some of it off right there. And then, price starts to retrace back here. I actually moved my stop to that level right here, this right there, and I get stopped out to the tick. Price continues to consolidate. Now I was holding to try to hit a new high of day, and that would have been holding for a while, and then eventually I would have gotten, on my order filled. Now, were there many other entries present? Well, yes. If price is bullish, you want to find a bearish fair value gap get invalidated, right? That's the whole premise behind how I trade. It kind of gives into that mindset of that thinking of if price is bullish on the higher time frame, you should see bearish fair value gaps get invalidated on lower time frames. So looking let's say you missed all of this, but you knew that the draw was higher just because of how price was moving. Well, you just wait patiently. Keep waiting patiently. Look for a bearish fair value gap to get formed, and then you'll notice that there's one right there. Let's mark that one out. Where's the invalidation of it? Yes, this price did close above it, but so slightly. Okay, I don't like that. So I would wait for that. I would wait for it. Price comes back down, and then we end up getting that displacement back above right here. Okay, here is one entry, and I would have put my stop below this swing low right there. And like I said, target this level right here. It's trade number one. Got in around 12:45. Was a 4.5 risk to reward. Okay, take profit hit at around 3 o'clock. You were in this trade for about 2 hours ish, a little over 2.5 hours, something like that. Okay, same thing. Look for every bearish for value gap and you'll see how it gets invalidated. This one right here, another bearish imbalance, gets invalidated, stop below that low, never comes back to it. Where is there another one? Let's see. Right here. This one gets invalidated with this candle closure right there. Put your stop below that low. Price never comes back down to it. Where is there another one? Got another one right here. Price never comes back down to this low. Keep going. What other imbalances do you have? You have this one right there. You see price doesn't invalidate it yet. Once price invalidates it right here, price never comes back to that latest swing low. And you can just see how every single bearish imbalance continuously gets disrespected until we hit that draw on liquidity, that 91625 level. So very simple. That's exactly it. Once I have the order flow of the higher time frame, I look for the same sentiment on the lower time frame, and when that is aligning together, I go all in. Now, I'm trying to take 1 to 2s. I think I'm going to start holding on runners again, just because I think price is going to start moving very nicely for the rest of the year. So hopefully we can get back to those 1,000 tick trades. Those were awesome. And yeah, hopefully you guys ended up green, and I will see you all tomorrow. Peace.